Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and welcome back to more Full Metal Panic, episodes 11 and 12 of Invisible Victory, Stormy Night, and Make My Day. I decided to watch these episodes back to back, and it kind of makes sense given at the ending of episode 11, and it's a perfect series to kind of go back and forth, like you do both back to back. Apologies for these not being all formulated right. Just I got a lot of screenshots to show because we're covering both episodes, and there's quite a bit to talk about, so the manner of speaking. But anyway, our first beginning of the first episode of Stormy Night, we see that Sosuke is back in action. He defeats the French Special Forces or Secret Service, although he laments that they're not as good as Agamemnon. They're much better forces. More so, I would say, given that he's dealing with the ASs. But yeah, he defeats them. He's back in good shape. And they've also kind of figured out where she is. They've got some screenshots showing that she's in Mexico, because they got this place that's got a lot of money, looks really well protected, and it's got some Alistairs. They figure this is where Kamina is. And we got, thanks to this goofball, this comes from the episode 12, but Royal Seals will bring in a new M6 bombshell, Bouchelle, or I'll show that in a little bit. But yeah, he's friends with John Campbell. This guy, I believe he's mentioned in the light novels portion. He's friends with Bourdet, who Tessa sees as her like an uncle, whatever. This is one of his friends. These two both. They're very happy to see Tessa, but they're taken away at the very end. They gotta be locked up. But yeah, so he comes to the rescue. He's hoping to see Tessa, but Tessa's not aboard. They haven't reunited yet. But following this scene, we do get to see Tessa aboard the where the Toothless. They reports that there's behemoths in the water, and I do need to make a little bit of correction, but yeah, they're in the water, but keep on radar. I'll make sure, because we're gonna find out that the other members of Agamemnon, they talk with Leonard. They're not happy about him having Kamina. Like, they're worried that Mithril and even more so Sosuke are gonna come and take her away. It's like, yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Like, we're sending forces. Is that okay? And it's more so that they're not here to save Kamina. They're gonna kill Leonard. It's more obvious than not. That's what they've done. I believe, considering later on that they we'll talk a little bit more about some other characters, but they seem to withdraw that. Yeah, they've come to squash Leonard. They're sick and tired of him. They need to get rid of him. He's a major threat to their party. That is very relevant later on in the story, but we'll get to that. Anyway, after that scene, we have Leonard meet up with Callahan, and they see that Mithril's little prototype machine. We don't get a super good look at it because this is not the moneymaker. This isn't the new device. But they showed it, and Leonard does confirm that it does have the lambda drive. It does have this special. They show the weird jar that's rainbowy. Like, okay, I forgot to mention, this is not super important, but they do like at the beginning of the episode 11, they show the truck scene, and they figure yeah, we gotta stop. So they do come back again. Anyway, he's like, get rid of it. It's like, it's useless. I was mistaken. The Belial is actually Leonard's machine when Kamino was examining it, but yeah, I'm mistaken it for that. Something just a little minor something, but I forgot that the Belial is his machine, not a giant behemoth thing. He thinks that's the ultimate gung ho, or at least that's the impression I got. Anyway, so he does a dispose of, and we meet this new guy. He is a sniper, and this guy is very hold on. This guy right here is very important. He is going to be a major player in volumes 10 through 12. This guy is Kurt's trainer. This guy is his master, sensei. He does hint at the end of episode, near the and near the end of episode 12 that this is his master. But this guy is very important. This guy's gonna be a slight pain in the ass going forward. But yeah, it's just something to know. And on top of Fowler and even Sabina, these three are all expert pilots at using ASs. This is Sabina's, the gray one. She's kind of more the communications. He's of course the sniper. And then of course this is Fowler's machine. But yeah, they all pilot their own Venom units, and they are gonna they kind of basically teach Mithril a lesson. They are very good pilots. I forget what happens to them in the future. I think Sabina ends up living, but yeah, this is kind of near the tail end of episode 11. But yeah, we see these three machines as they stare down the forces. But there's the Gurns back. It is very blue. The rain has made it a little bit different. But one's that he sees that they're American forces, so think maybe either the American forces are teaming up with Agamemnon, or I think maybe they're like the first wave, but they've come to try to disrupt plans. And then following that, we see that the gang's back here. Mao, Kurt, Cluso, they're all back. They take out two Venom units, no problem. Nothing flat. I mean, it definitely does seem a bit of a challenge. The sound they make when they fall over is a bit clunky. Like, it kind of reminded me of like Star Wars. I don't know. It was a weird sound. Like, I wasn't exactly expecting that. But yeah, it felt very clunky. But yeah, they meet up together. We see that Cluso takes out his own. He's very efficient. However, these three together are not good enough to beat the trio of Agamemnon, Leonard's right-hand people. I just dispatched. But going into the next episode, Stormy front to the actually the end of the episode is Sosuke getting blocked by a trap. He thinks there's a car that has Kamen in it. It isn't, and as the machine gets beaten, unfortunately he's able to escape from Callahan's trap by issuing a little explosion in the bombshell. But yeah, that's the end of episode 11. We have episode 12. We have a stormy night. This Kamen definitely has a big portions, but this is very representative of Kamen. Just there's a bird in a cage. She's not allowed to know anything, and she's just kept because she's very beautiful and like she's just useful. I guess she speaks. She's a whisperer, so to manner of speaking. But we do have this bird cage, and she doesn't know how to necessarily, I guess, fight, which we'll talk a little bit in a sec. But anyway, as she learns that Sosuke has come aboard and he's fighting to go get her, Leonard gives her a test to say, "Shoot me. Do you have the resolve?" Now, this is something I do want to discuss because Kamina is only surrounded by people that know violence, that their strength is to be able to shoot a gun. And that's what Leonard kind of sees as strength. When in reality, in terms of like a veteran, like a wife of veteran, the strongest thing you can do is living and keep on prospering, believing that your husband is going to come back. And she's going to find this resolve a little bit later, but she's a civilian. She's never shot a gun or shot a full-fledged gun and try to kill somebody. She's only tried to disable people. So for her to do something like that is unheard of, and even I think Leonard knows about it. He does get actually injured due to carelessness, but otherwise, yeah, she's dead ass. She doesn't have the resolve to do it. It's in some parts it makes sense given Kamina. She's a civilian. She is a sort of a bit of a princess, and she doesn't understand what it means to be really strong. She knows like kind of like on the battlefield, or whatever. But I think maybe with Sosuke not around, she doesn't have a full grasp of it. It makes sense. It's a bit awkward, but I see what they're going for. Anyway, we cut a little ways. The rest of Agamemnon has come, and Sosuke gets his new machine, the Levadian, which Al himself has named. This thing is an absolute monster. I suspect this thing could go toe-to-toe with Gen 1, I guess Year 1 Gundams easily, my opinion. This thing has the AS, has the Lambda drive. It also has something called Fairy Wings, which I thought was that was referring to Kamina, but no, that's a new device that allows them to cancel out Lambda drivers. But this thing is absolutely ferocious. This thing has multiple arms. It dealt with the AS's like defeated like two venom units like no problem, and then destroys three behemoths like easily, one from a long range. This thing is awesome. This is a very cool unit. It is absolute destruction. It has a lot of power. It is a very tough machine, but it does have one fallback, which is it doesn't have an ESG thing, ECS, so it can't turn invisible. But with something like this powerful, I mean, I guess like for civilians, but this thing means business. You don't need to hide. You got the Lambda driver, and Sosuke is able to activate it, no problem. Perfection at the moment. There are some great ass shots with this thing destroying the behemoths. It's an absolute monster, and it looks very cool. Very good color. But it's sort of a nod back to Gaara, and it does actually have some hair. You know, it has the Zero hair from Mega Man X series, the Venom hair. It's a very nice hair. But yeah, it's got some nice silver hair, and it goes to town. Now, once he gets Sun Destroying and, you know, everything, the base has all been captured, all hunky-dory, there's a radio transmission from Kamina, and she's like you said, she's very confused about like what it means to fight. Doesn't necessarily know what to do. But at the final moments, she's debating whether to shoot somebody or kill herself. She's very confused, but she gets to resolve the idea to at least say goodbye to Sosuke. And she wants to say this, like, no, don't come for me, whatever. But she realizes a change of heart. She realizes, no, she's going to stay and live. She's going to fight. She tells Sosuke to come and rescue me. And they do this annoying bit where they're talking, there's also music. And music with voices. I really wish that was not the case. I really wish it was actually the credits... the credits orchestral for this series. That would have been really nice for that moment. But you're just like, yeah, come save me. They tell each other they love her. You know, it's like, come and rescue me. And it's like, you know, I want you to kill 1,000,000 men. Like, you know, I was joking about that. I'm like, yeah, and you know, it's like I understand. It's like I will come and do it. So and following that, we get the rescue. You know, board the Toothladan, and everybody's come back together with the new machine. Everybody's all happy. They play the theme opening song from the first season, which kind of sucks given that there's another season, which I've been debating whether or not to talk about that, you know? Like, well, no, I'm going to talk about it, but when is the question? That's the big thing. So, overall, strong opening, middle... understandable, and then near the end, you know, I guess for final thoughts for this season, it's okay. I still haven't read the volume 9 yet to see what they missed, whatever. But I think in total, it's an okay season. I've seen this rate about like I know my analysis is not the perfect end all. I'd probably give this around 6 or 7. It's a fine season. It's got some good moments, especially near the end. But I don't know. It lacks the impact. It lacks the impact of season 2. I would probably still say it's better than season 1, but aside from the animation, I don't know. Season 1 does have some good moments, but Invisible Victory. There's some good action. It's fun. We get to see the new machine just absolutely detour. It's just a shame that the beginning of the part doesn't carry through the rest of the end. The middle, I'd probably say the middle section is probably the next best, with this part being, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know. This season's not terrible. I like I said, 6 or 7. It's fine. It's a nice watch. I think it would be better if we still had a season 5 technically. Which, you know, maybe we should talk about that, you know. I was going to save that for a little bit later, but let's talk about season 3. So, in terms of like the main season, we'll go to Fumafu. But the first season, it was done in 2002. And then season 2 happened in 2005, so 3 years difference. And then season 3 happens 13 years later. It has only been 7 years, and the light novel has continued. Full Metal Panic. When was Fumafu actually? As I know, no, this is music. No, it's not. Keep getting confused. Anime Fumafu happened in when? 2003. So like a bit of an in between chapter. All right. There are still plenty of light novels. I haven't picked up the latest short story one. I'm gonna wait for it to have a little bit better price. But the light novel is still continuing. The English ones we've got this site's too. Yeah, we still have we have the side stories. We still haven't the last ones like the sidearms and then like sidearms 2. Once I pick up the third volume, we'll see if those are going to continue. But like we said, we have the Never Novel list, which continues for a bit, and then we have the next season, which it's like it's in the third volume. So I think Full Metal Panic getting a proper season 5 or / season 4, I think there is a possibility. There is clear indication that people want Full Metal Panic, both from the Western audience and even the Eastern audience. So we shall see. Maybe it's going to have I don't think it's going to have as big a jump, like say, if from 5 years. I think there's a possibility. But I think I've been long enough. I'll catch you guys next time for volume 9 of the light novels, and then we will move on to Fumafu. Anyway, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Like, comment, and subscribe.